actually. It was the second. Anyway, I was flying through O'Hare, and I was pulled from the line with the man yelling at me, "Ma'am, come here, stand here." And I looked at him and I said, "What's happening?" And he wouldn't talk to me. And I said, "Is that the scanner?" And he said, "It is." And I said, "I'd prefer to go through the detector." And he started yelling at me that it wasn't my choice, that I was chosen, and to stand there.
Yeah, that's the report we get. Even though there's the, quote, opt-out, they're told to intimidate people, and the head of the TSA has said it will be mandatory soon to order you that you must go through.
Right. So he then yells, opt out, extremely loud, as you were saying before. But the next part was he yells over the machine and starts yelling. I don't remember her name, and he said, say it was Sherry. "Sherry, I got one for ya," like that. And now
we're gonna take her pension fund. We run everything now. Exactly. I'm a minimum wage idiot. I get to grope. So what happened next?
Well, and, to go with Jim, your first caller, I'm 5'9", I'm blonde-haired, blue-eyed, I take great care of myself, and from the back comes a 6-foot-tall African-American woman that, I'm sorry, I know doesn't prefer men, and she's laughing, giggling, pulling her blue gloves on.
Oh, yeah, it's fun.
Down, putting her fingers through.
We're going to get you, lady, in America.
Yeah.
We're going to teach you like girls.
Yeah, and this is where I start to shut down, because then I'm informed not to move, then I'm supposed to move, then I get near the back. And by the way, this is getting us all ready for mass arrest, relocation, forced inoculation. That's all this is training to turn the TSA loose on the streets. They're already doing it. Go ahead. Yeah, so this is where things change, though. I literally start tremoring.
Ooh, that got her excited. She likes that.
Right, so I looked at her, I said, "What's happening?" And she said, "I'm going to pat you down." And I looked at her. People are staring at me, and at this point, I don't care. I looked at her, and I said, "You're not going to touch me." And she said,
yes, I am, little girl. Please, no, what happened next?
And so I said, I am, and I start to shake. I said, "I need to see your supervisor." She came over, and I just went into, I'm an incest survivor.
Oh, my God.
I've been molested by 2 other men who had power over me. One was my grade school principal.
This is what this is all about. The globalists are mainly pedophiles. Sorry, go ahead.
Exactly. And so I just started tremoring, and I just said, "You are not going to touch me since I've been 14."
Which is a normal response of a woman or a man.
Exactly. And I said, "You do not, what happened to the 4th Amendment to the Constitution? You don't have probable cause. I don't have a stitch of metal on me. Everything's gone through the detector fine." She said, "We'll have to call the police." And I said, "Actually, I'd love for you to bring the police here, because I do know that the police in Chicago here do not get along with the TSA."
Yeah, because they know they're a bunch of idiots. So what happened next?
So then finally she said, "Well, we'll get someone." It took about a half an hour, but a lovely woman within the TSA came across the airport, and she sat there. Finally, it was interesting, Alex, because there was...
But, ma'am, they were playing good cop with you. They know that when you don't submit, they just try to get you out of there.
Right.
Okay, because they're training the TSA and everybody that this type of Nazi molestation is normal. So what happened next?
So finally, there was a wonderful man. You could see his eyes soften from the back. You could see that he had had someone in his life touched by this. He actually came over, took my hand, and said, "Would you please sit down?" You could see his eyes were different. He had compassion. He probably won't work there for long. So finally, this woman said, she came over, and she said, "I have to do this." And I said, "You will not touch me privately anywhere." And she said, "No, I promise." She says, "Do you want to go in the back room?" I said, "Actually, in my experience in my past, in my early years, that's worse. So no, I will stay right here."
So go ahead and molest me in front of people. Okay, so what happened next?
So she only did my extremities and my rib cage. She did not touch me privately anywhere else, and I got through there. Then I was still shaking on the plane, going to my destination, and I found out from the woman I was sitting next to, who asked me if I was okay, that the airport I was going to and I was going to be coming through the next day, she said the A concourse is not using the scanner yet. The B and C is. And she said, and I thought that was interesting, because that is a concourse that's...
But see, notice how they phase it in slowly, so you don't feel like you can resist. Yep. So you've got a place to get away, but then they close down those gaps. It's all psychologically, like the Stanford prison study. It's all done, and they're training this army of abusers and monsters. Folks, I've got, he's reportedly going to arrive soon, a former governor of New Mexico, Gary Johnson, joining us. But I'm probably going to go into, is the crew game to go into overdrive today in the 4th hour to take more victims' calls? I mean, I don't know why I don't do more shows like this. We're going to just start talking about different groups victimized by the system so people can hear the testimonies. In closing, ma'am, Justine, what do you think of people emailing me and commenting on the YouTube video that has over 200,000 views about my employee being fondled along with her 20-month-old daughter and 8-year-old daughter, and a man did this to her? What do you think about people that are denying it, saying we're lying about it? The government has announced this, they're doing it, but there's such sheep-like people that they're in denial saying we're lying.
So I watched people having their breasts fondled and not feeling a thing or even caring when I was sitting there. I've actually spoken out about this. I don't care if I have to stand alone or in hundreds of thousands of people. I've been talking to my neighbors, and they've got this distant look in their face. They don't believe it. They think that I don't know what to do about the American public.
Well, they're in a trance. They're in a trance. They've been literally television puts you into a trance. We're going to break them out of their trance. We're going to wake them up. More calls, more eyewitnesses, more victims. Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite are now storing non-hybrid seeds in secret storage vaults near the Arctic Circle? Did you know that in a real meltdown, non-hybrid seeds can become more valuable than silver or gold? It's true, seeds have outperformed even gold and silver before in this country, and it's possible that could even happen again. So our friends at Solutions from Science have put together the perfect mix of non-hybrid seeds. They call it a survival seed bank, and it can produce an endless supply of nutrient-dense food for you and your family. And here's the best part. These seeds have not been genetically modified in any way, and you actually get enough seeds to plant a full acre crisis garden. So visit them today at survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com, or give them a call at 877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365. Remember, in a real crisis, non-hybrid seeds are the ultimate barter item. This is Alex Jones for survivalseedbank.com.
David J. Smith for Newswatch Magazine. Did you know that there's a secret group that has been trying to destroy all ordered government, eliminate private property, abolish inheritance, rid the nation of patriotism in the family, abolish religion, and establish a world government? We'd like to help you understand why these things are happening and more about Bible prophecy by offering you an absolutely free 1-year subscription to Newswatch Magazine. Just call our toll-free number, 1-800-516-8736. That's 1-800-516-8736. Just call for a 1-year free subscription to Newswatch Magazine. It's free. Call now while operators are standing by to take your call.
As gardeners, we can all relate.
What do you do with all of the excess food that you grow?
Freezing or canning may have been the process you've used, but the good folks at Excalibur Dehydrator have a healthy alternative to preserve the fruits of your labor. The Excalibur Dehydrator will help you preserve your fruits and vegetables quickly and easily, so you don't have to worry about premature spoiling. You can also use your Excalibur Dehydrator year-round to make delicious jerky. And the best part? The foods you dehydrate are free from excess additives, salt, and preservatives, and that's something we can all do without. To learn more and to order your very own Excalibur Dehydrator, visit drying123.com and see how the Excalibur Dehydrator can help you preserve your favorite foods.
Mention coupon code GCN and receive a free book on how to preserve your foods.
Again, that's drying123.com, drying123.com, or call 1-800-875-4254. That's 1-800-875-4254 today.
Took it away. Got former New Mexico Governor Gary Johnson sitting out there in the green room. He'll be on at the 5 After segment. He's out there exposing tyranny. We're going to ask him about all this airport security and the rest of it. We're talking to victims right now. In this segment, the next, I'm going into 4th hour overdrive today to continue this. Drudge Report for 4 days, 3.5 days has been linked to our reports on this. The TSA is now announcing, not even if you opt out, if you go through the naked body scanner, They are going to touch your genitals with pressure and your breast. This is so incredible. And they're announcing TSA to be on the streets of America with the Viper teams. Incredible stories we're hearing here today. Let's go ahead and talk to Kyle in California, then Robert, Karen, Michael, Carrie, and others. Notice a lot of women are calling in. Let's talk to Kyle. Kyle, you're on the air.
Yeah, hi, Alex. How's it going? I got a story from a few different airports I've been at. First of all, San Francisco, SFO International Airport, now has naked body scanners going. I took a flight from there this summer, and I noticed that they had the normal metal detector taped off with red type of a tape, you know, the whole lines that they make everywhere. They had a red one there, like it's a do not enter. You're not allowed to go through this spot. And they had all of the people lined up like cattle, all in all the other lines, going right through the naked body scanners. And
they're getting a biometric scan of your body. Here's how facial recognition works in Xbox. So people have their faces, their body scanned to access video games. The government is literally saving these images for a biometric image of your body.
Exactly. And all these people were on there just like sheep going right through it. And I was there with my dad and my brother, and they obviously knew what was going on. And so us three went. And I told them, you know, no, we're not going to go through that. We want to go through. And they yell, opt out, and all these guys run over to come deal with us.
And that's meant to intimidate everybody else. Did they do the strip search in public like the other victims?
Nope, not to us. I mean, I pretty much told the dude, like, I wasn't going to go through that. I'm not down to have all that happen. He's like, well, you have to go through the metal detector then, you know, and you have to be searched. And I was like, all right. And so we went through, and he basically, as soon as us three went through, he closed the gate again, so nobody else could go through. And everybody else on the other line, like, didn't really know.
Yeah, this is all dog training. Again, they're selling us for the government to get in our comfort zones. Anything else, Kyle?
Yeah, and then also in Morocco, I was in Morocco and in London as well. London is crazy. They've got like squads of dudes in black uniforms with dogs roaming around with MP5s and stuff. London was really crazy, Heathrow Airport. And in Morocco, they definitely, like, feel you up, grab you. I didn't know if it was just part of the culture or what, but they're definitely all about that.
All right, interesting story. Yeah. So, again, worldwide, it's rolling out. And a month ago, Europe said they weren't going to do it, so the U.S. government's offering billions of dollars to pay for the machines. Italy's throwing them out. Airline chiefs like British Airways have said it's killing business. The system doesn't care. It's about indoctrinating you into slavery. Robert in Europe, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi. Can you hear me?
I can. Tell us what happened to you.
Oh, okay, great. So, look, I was in San Francisco. I was with my kids. We were flying from San Francisco to London. It's funny, the previous caller mentioned the same two cities. So, you know, we opted out of the body scanners, as I always do, leaving that airport. And what happened is my daughter's putting on her shoes, my son's putting on his coat and everything. And I'm just kind of dreading the whole process, you know, mumbling things under my breath, you know, making little comments like I usually do, you know, it's probably a good idea. But I look up, and who's walking around security? But it's Al Gore. Al Gore with all this gray hair, looking a little skinnier than last time I saw him on TV. And he's walking around security while we're putting our shoes on. He's with two lawyers with briefcases and everything. I guess that day he had to be questioned about the sexual assault thing. It was in late July. It happened in Oregon. And
so Al Gore gets to bypass the pervert machines.
Oh, I saw it with my own eyes. I looked up, it was Al Gore, and then I started talking about Climategate. I was like, yeah, Al Gore, Climategate. You know, but the guy was right there, and he walked around us, and he was actually on the same flight. He was in the British
I
Airways.
was in Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport once and saw Al Gore bypass security. He's the one guy that should be forced to go through it. Anything else, Robert?
This is GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
Let me tell you a little bit about one of our great sponsors, HomeGain.com. This is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting any real estate questions answered. Go to HomeGain.com and see what I'm talking about. All you need to do is type in your home address, and you will get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. This is a great way to be able to monitor the value of your home. And again, it's absolutely free. There are tons of tools to help you. For instance, if you want to remodel your home, go to HomeGain.com. Use their Home Sale Maximizer to help you determine which home improvements can most increase your home's value before you put it on the market. For 10 years, these folks have been helping home sellers and buyers. Visit their link at Infowars.com. Look for Max, the orange Home Gain Gorilla, to help you with any real estate needs you might have. You'll love this site. It's homegain.com.